sir. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the math classes. As you all know, we were doing the sequences and series. I would like to end today here the chapter sequences and series. And as you all can see, I have written 4 formulae. Basically, you might have got this in your NCERT textbook itself in PU in the chapter mathematical induction, where 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to n is sigma n. You call it as sigma n, which is nothing but equal to what? N into n plus 1 by 2. Similarly, 1 square plus 2 square up to n square is nothing but known as sigma n square, which is nothing but n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. And likewise here, 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube is nothing but sigma n cube, which is n square into n plus 1 whole square by 4. And the last one, which is 1 plus 1 plus 1, if you go on adding n times, that becomes n itself, which we write it as in shortcut form as what? Sigma 1. Sigma 1 is actually what? N, provided if it is n times. Why I have written this, the formula from mathematical induction is, the next part, I should say the last part of our Cengage material objective questions are based upon this summation. And you're getting questions actually in which there are 2 sigmas, 3 sigmas. So it is basically a little bit of difficult problems for the students to solve the problems which contains 2 and 3 sigmas. So I would like to solve such questions actually, which involve 2, 3 sigmas here, right? Okay, we'll go on to the next question now from our Cengage material. I take the question 80. Question 80 involves 3 sigma. It is given as sigma I is equal to 1 to infinity, sigma j is equal to 1 to infinity, sigma k equal to 1 to infinity. 1 by a power of I plus j plus k. This value I have to find out is equal to dash. What is given actually? Given that mod a value is greater than 1. This is given. Okay. Now, to solve these questions, like if you observe this here, to solve these type of questions, whenever there are more than 1 sigmas, you have to remember that you have to come from right side, the right side. You should see the sigmas from right side. That means you should give first preference to what actually? Sigma k equal to 1 to infinity. Sigma k equal to 1 to infinity. That means from this question, that is 1 by I power of 1 by a power of I plus j plus k, you have to solve only k, because the rightmost summation is actually for what? K. So what do I do is, keeping these sigmas as it is, I will write down I equal to 1 to infinity, sigma j equal to 1 to infinity, and this is actually sigma k equal to 1 to infinity. I will write down this one as 1 by I power of a power of I plus j into 1 by a power of k. See here, what I am doing is I am separating the term with k, because the rightmost sigma is actually what? K equal to 1 to infinity. Now keeping this one as fixed, what is that? 1 by a power of I plus j do not contain k. That means it will become a fixed term. This term will be coming towards the left side of the rightmost sigma. Remember this, right? So rightmost sigma is actually what? From k equal to 1 to infinity. Now when I have segregated k term separate and I plus j term separate. Then since sigma is only for k equal to 1 to infinity, 1 by a power of I plus j will become the constant or the coefficient for what? A power k term. This comes towards the left side. It comes and it will be coming after the second sigma, and you will solve only what? Only 1 by a power k. So what will happen actually here is, this is sigma I is equal to 1 to infinity, sigma j equal to 1 to infinity. This is 1 by a power of I plus j into, now if you apply sigma for this, what do I get actually is, this is 1 by a power 1 plus 1 by a power 2 plus so on up to what? Up to infinity. That means I have to go on substitute the value of what? K only for this term. I get 1 by a power 1 because k value starting from what? 1. So 1 by a plus 1 by a square up to dash 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 when I keep, then it goes up to infinity. Since I'm enclosing in the flower bracket, I should not write down infinity here. Okay. So what will happen is, this is sigma I equal to 1 to infinity, sigma j equal to 1 to infinity, 1 by a power of I plus j into, this becomes sum to infinite terms of a GP, right? Since mod a value is greater than 1, 1 by mod a value will become less than 1. So here 1 by mod a value will become actually what? 1 by a value will become less than 1. 1 by mod a value will become less than 1. Since 1 by mod a value is becoming less than 1, then only you can use sum to infinite terms of GP formula as a by 1 minus r. So this formula is actually what? A by 1 minus r. What is the meaning? A value is 1 by a. Okay. R value is what? 1 by a. So a by 1 minus r. So what I am getting is, this is sigma I equal to 1 to infinity. This is sigma j equal to 1 to infinity. Here, this is for j, no? I will write down I, okay, I power of a plus j, a power of I plus j. It becomes 1 by a minus 1. This is the value which I am getting actually after removing the first sigma from right side. What is that? This is the value. Since it has nothing to do with ijk, this will become the constant for the whole question. This constant will be coming outside the leftmost sigma. Okay. So what will happen now is, this will become 1 by, this is a minus 1. Now the same procedure which I have used here, it will be applicable for the next sigma. What is that? For j equal to 1 to infinity. So now which variable is concentrated? J is concentrated. Then what will become the coefficient? A power I will become the coefficient. So this will become actually sigma I equal to 1 to infinity, sigma j equal to 1 to infinity. It becomes 1 by a power of I into a power of j. A power of j. So you know that since the rightmost sigma is j, then this 1 by a power of I, it will be coming to left term. It will be coming left side, as I have done here, coming to left side. So what will be remaining actually is only 1 by a power of j will be remaining. 1 by a power of j will be remaining here. So I will be getting actually here 1 by a minus a. This is sigma I equal to 1 to infinity. This is 1 by a power of I into, now once again substitute j equal to 1 to infinity here. What I am getting is 1 by a plus 1 by a square plus it goes up to what? Infinity. And only one sigma is left out now. There were 3 sigmas which we started. Now 2 sigmas we have cancelled by using this procedure. What I'm getting is, I'm getting here 1 by a minus 1, 1 by a minus 1. This is sigma I equal to 1 to infinity. This is 1 by a power of I. Again here the same formula which I have used. What is that? A by 1 minus r formula. What is a? 1 by a. R value is 1 minus 1 by a. Same thing. So what happened is, this will become 1 by a minus a into, this is sigma I equal to 1 to infinity. This is 1 by a power of I. It will become once again 1 by a minus 1. Just like as I have got here. So this is the way how I am able to eliminate the second sigma from right side. So this 1 by a minus 1, it will be coming to left side. You are left out only with one sigma, with only the with only the one unknown I. So it will become 1 by a minus 1 whole square. So now when I substitute I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on here, I am getting 1 by a plus 1 by a square plus so on up to infinity. Same way if I solve, I am getting actually 1 by a minus 1 whole square into 1 by a minus 1. This will become whole cube, which is nothing but a minus 1 whole power of minus 3, which is actually your option A in your Cengage material. This is your option A from your Cengage material. Please note it down. This is the way how you eradicate, how you will be removing the sigmas from right side, though there are 3 sigmas, 2 sigmas or 4 sigmas. You need to have patience here and step by step you have to solve. A minus 1 whole power of 1 minus 3 or 1 by a minus 1 whole cube is the answer for this question number 80 from your Cengage material. Okay, this was question number 80. Now I go to next question, question number 81. Question number 81. The question is sigma I equal to 1 to n, sigma j equal to 1 to I, sigma k equal to 1 to j. 1 is equal to 220. 220. Then n value I have to find. Question like this. This is question number 81. Now, if you observe this here, to solve the problem, the same procedure what I have told earlier. That is, you have to approach from what? The right side. If you see the right side, the sigma is actually from what? K equal to 1 to j. Okay. Okay. Now, to solve this, if you see, this is the first value you have to take. Now, you may question, where is the value of k here, sir? Nothing is there. Only 1 is here. So 1 can be taken as k power of, I should say, some 0. K power of 0. See, this k do not have anything to do with this question. the thing is you should see k value is actually from what 1 to j. So if you start doing this, you get sigma I equal to 1 to n, sigma j equal to 1 to I. This is sigma k equal to 1 to n means this should be taken as sigma k power 0, right? K power 0 is nothing but 1. If I go on substituting, I get the value of actually what 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to what k times 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus up to what k times. So I'm solving only LHS now. At the end, I will equal to RHS, and let us see what is the value of actually n I'm getting. So what I get actually is sigma I equal to 1 to n, sigma j equal to 1 to I. This will become actually what? This will become k equal to, okay, k value is from 1 up to what? It is going up to j times here. Up to j times. K value is actually from what? 1. It is going up to what? J times. So that means it will become actually what? 1 plus 1 plus 1. N is what? N only, no? So it will become actually what? J. So from among 3 sigmas, 2 sigmas are getting cancelled. I am getting actually 2 sigmas of j. Now it is just like, see, just before starting this, I have done 4 formulae on the board. I am using those formulae to solve this problem. So the first formula which I have used is nothing but the 4th formula which I wrote. What is that? 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to what? Sigma up to n times is called as sigma 1. Sigma 1 is n. Did you understand? Sigma 1 is n. Sigma 1 is actually n. You should see what is the upper limit. Upper limit is j, no? So sigma 1 here will become j. It is starting from 1, it is going up to j. Hence you get 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to j times, and therefore you are getting only j. So from among 3 sigmas, 1 sigma is removed, and that too you are doing this problem from right side. Remember, whenever you are solving more than 2 or 3 sigmas, the approachment should be only from right side. So once the sigma is removed, I will solve this. So now I have to see, this is j equal to 1 to I. That means here, what I'm getting now? I equal to 1 to n. Sigma j equal to 1 to I means it will become actually 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on. Up to what? Up to I. Just like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to what? Up to what? N, no? So what is the formula? N into n plus 1 by 2. So I will be getting here j into, this is j plus 1 by 2. This is the value. Just like sigma n. Sigma n is what? N into n plus 1 by 2. The first formula which I wrote today. Just like this is sigma j. I mean sigma j up to I. What's the meaning of that? J value starting from 1 means what? 1, 2, 3, 4 up to, it goes up to what? I. So it becomes actually sigma. See, if you want, I can write it in detail for this also. So this will become actually sigma. This is 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to what? Up to j. Up to j. Okay. So this will become actually sigma I equal to 1 to n. This will become j into j plus 1 by 2. Just like n into n plus 1 by 2. See, from among 3 sigmas, 2 sigmas have got eliminated. Now only one leftmost sigma is there. So what do? Is you take 1 by 2 common, you take sigma. Okay, now just listen. Now here also. Here I have given a preference to what? Upper limit. I got j times. For second sigma, I have to give preference to what? The upper limit. What it is? I. So it should come up to I times. So I get actually I into I plus 1 by 2. So I get sigma I equal to 1 to n. I am getting now I square plus I into I plus 1. I have taken 1 by 2 common. So now this sigma I square up to n is nothing but sigma n square. You have to see the upper limit. The upper limit is actually what? N. So this will become actually 1 by 2 into sigma I equal to 1 to n I square plus sigma I equal to 1 to n of what? I. So 1 by 2 of, now if you use, it becomes sigma n square, because you should give preference to what? The upper limit. This is what I am telling you in this problem. Here you have to give preference to these upper limits, I here, and these upper limits you have to give. Likewise, I have given for j, here I, here for n, same thing. So the upper limit is actually what? I equal to 1 to n. It becomes sigma n square. Sigma n square is actually what? This is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. 2n plus 1 by 6. Next, plus. This will become n into n plus 1 by 2 because it becomes sigma n. So this is the value of actually what the LHS. Now if you observe this here, you can take down 1 by 2 into n plus 1 by 2 common. If I take common, I am getting 2n plus 1 by 3 plus 1. So this will become n into n plus 1 by 12. 4 3s are 12. This is 2n plus 1 plus 3 is 4. So this is the value of actually what? This is the value of the LHS, all the sigmas. According to question, this value is equal to how much? 220, but it can be further simplified. So what do I do is actually, I will write down n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 by 6. Because 2 common, it gets cancelled. So this value is actually equal to how much? 220. Now you should see which value satisfies. So what happens actually is this becomes n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 equal to 220 into 6. 22 3s. 6 to that one, 1320. 1320. And therefore, if I take, this implies n is equal to 10 will satisfy. 10 into 11 into 12. Because 12 11s are 132. 132 into 10 is 1320. And therefore, n equal to 2 is actually our answer. And therefore, if you see that in your textbook, option C is correct. Please check it out. Now, next I go to question number 83. The question is, find the sum of the series. Sum of the series. 1 minus 2 square plus 5 minus 4 square, 5 minus 4 square plus 9 minus 6 square plus so on up to 2n minus 3 minus n square. Minus n square. I have to find the sum of the series. Look, for this type of questions, there is some simple technique to solve the problems. Only these are the questions which can be solved in very, very quick time. Provided you should know actually what is to be done whenever he gives the sum of the series, and when options are in terms of n, all the problems can be easily solved within seconds. You should see actually he said sum of the series. If we keep n equal to 1, this is actually called as actually the nth term. See here, if you keep n equal to 1, what I'm getting? Minus 1, minus 1, minus 2. That means minus 2 you are not getting actually. But first term is actually 1. second term minus 2 square. That means if you add two terms, if you add these two terms, 1 minus 4, what is 1 minus 4? Minus 3. That means when you add two terms, answer should be minus 3. You should keep this one in mind. Because if you add one term, there is nothing in adding one term. What is the meaning of adding one term? You are adding nothing. You are just taking that term. Minimum addition should be done for what? 2 or 3 terms. So if you add two terms, 1 minus 4 equal to how much? It becomes minus 3. Right? If you add 3 terms, 1 minus 4 plus 5 is 6 minus 4, which is equal to how much? 2. So to solve these type of questions, which involves the option in terms of n, what is that you have to do? What is that you have to do is we should use options. So you should select options. So what is that you do? Put n equal to 2. Put n equal to 2. Where? In options. In options. You have got 4 options. If you keep n equal to 2, what should be the answer? Answer should be minus 3. That's it. So from among 4 options, suppose if you are getting more than one option as an answer as minus 3, then put n equal to 3. If you keep n equal to 3, what will happen? 1 minus 4 plus 5. 6 minus 4 will become 2. That means if you put n equal to 3, answer should become 2. If you get more than one option as minus 3. So in this question number 83, which can be solved within quicker time, what you do is you take option A. Option A. What is given? Minus n by 6 into n square plus 5. N square plus 5. So if I keep n equal to 2, I get minus 2 by 6 into 2 square plus 5. Minus 2 by 6 into, this is 9. So this is actually minus 18 by 6, which is equal to how much? Minus 3. Therefore, this minus 3 and minus 3, you are getting only for option A, and therefore option A is your answer. Without going for calculation, you will solve these problems which involve some of the series by using the options and by the way of substituting n equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. Next. Similarly, 88 also. See, question number 88 also, you can go by using options. Options. I'll go to 91st question. 91st question. He gave a sequence of numbers. The numbers are like this. The numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. All numbers are written. This is 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, and so on. And so on. So on. So it's forming a triangle with only odd numbers. Okay. If Tn is the first term, Tn is the first term of n row, what is given? Tn is equal to first term of n row. First term of n row. Then find limit n tending to infinity. Limit n tending to infinity under root of Tn minus n. It's a problem from limits. And it is neither in AP, nor in GP, nor in HP. There is a method actually to solve this. This is actually the question. Let us see how we can solve this. If you see here, this is the first term of first row, first term of second row, first term of third row, first term of fourth row, first term of fifth row. So if you see the first terms, they are like this: 1, 3, 7, 1, 1, 3, 7, 13, 21, and so on. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth. What will be the nth term? No one knows. Why? It is neither in AP, nor in GP, nor in harmonic progression, nor in arithmetic or geometric progression. To solve these questions, there is a method. I will do this. You should find that nth term for this. What you have to do is, you should take this series. Sorry, this is sequence. Yes, equal to what? 1, 3, 7, 13, 21, and so on. Okay, next. Again, start writing this. Yes, start writing the same sequence starting from second term. 1, 3, 7, 13, 21, and so on. There is one peculiar thing here to be observed. That is 1, 3, 7, 13, 21. No doubt they are neither in AP, nor in GP, nor in AGP. But if you see the difference is 2, difference is 4, difference is 6, difference is 8. Though the terms are not in any progression, but their common differences are actually what? In arithmetic progression. So when the common differences of the terms are in arithmetic progression, then this is a method how you have to solve. First, write down the sequence. Again, write down the same sequence starting from second term. Now, what you do is you subtract. You subtract. If you subtract, you get 0 equal to 1. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on we get. Okay. Now, after subtracting, you should know that here, from among all these terms of the sequence, from here, you are getting actually the AP terms. These are the terms of AP. What you have to do is, you have to add. You have to add this. So if you add 1 plus, this will become 2 plus, 4 plus, 6 plus, 8 plus, so on up to. See, one term is gone. Up to how many terms will be left out actually? N minus terms will be left out. N minus 1 terms will be left out. Because one term is coming outside. It is not involving in the arithmetic progression. These are the terms of AP. Now we have to add. Remember, for this type of question, to find out the nth term, you have to find sum to n terms or sum to n minus 1 terms. I repeat, to get the nth term, you have to find this sum to n terms or n minus 1 terms depending upon the question. But in this question, first term is not involving in arithmetic progression, because if you take 1, then these terms won't form AP. That's why exclude 1. If you exclude 1, number of terms will become actually what? N minus 1. Now you have to find out sum to these n minus 1 terms. So what will happen is, yes, this is equal to 1 plus sum to n minus 1 terms. Formula is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. In the place of n, what do you write? N minus 1 by 2 into, this is 2a. 2a plus n minus 1. N minus 1 minus 1 into common difference 2. This will become actually 1 plus n minus 1 by 2 into, this is 4 plus 2n minus 4. 4 gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled. So you are getting 1 plus n into n minus 1. This is the nth term of the first terms of the given triangle actually. This is. See, if I keep n equal to 1, I am getting 1. Keep n equal to 2, I am getting 3. Put n equal to 3, I am getting 1 plus 3 into 2, 7. Put n equal to 4, 13. Put n equal to 5. 5 into 4, 20 plus 1, 21. Hence, you are getting the nth term. So once you get the nth term, that means you got actually Tn. What it is? This is Tn. This is Tn. Now, if you know Tn, then the problem is purely a problem from our calculus, which is a problem from what? Limits. So here, find the value of limit n tending to infinity. Okay, first take it down, I will do the problem. It's a problem from limits. So the problem is actually find limit n tending to infinity. Limit n tending to infinity under root of Tn minus n. This is equal to limit n tending to infinity. Under root of Tn means this one. Under root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 minus n. It's a pure problem from our limits, infinite limit concept. Let us see what is the answer which we get by solving it in terms of limits. If we substitute here infinity, you get infinity minus infinity, which is actually what? Which is indeterminate form. Infinity minus infinity is indeterminate form. I have told earlier that there are totally 8 indeterminate forms. When you get indeterminate forms only, you can easily solve it using different methods. And when you get infinity minus infinity, I have told earlier also in the class that you have to either rationalize or factorize. I told here there is a possibility of rationalization. Why? Root of is actually what? Irrational. So this will become actually, this is limit n tending to infinity. I am getting actually, this is 1 plus root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 minus n by under root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 plus n into root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 plus n. What I have done? I have multiplied and divided by what? Rationalizing factor. So this will become actually limit n tending to infinity 1 plus n into n minus 1 minus n square by under root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 plus n. So what will happen is, this is limit n tending to infinity. You have 1 plus n square minus n square by, this is root plus n. Okay. So what do I do now? N square gets cancelled. You are getting actually limit n tending to infinity. This is 1 minus n by under root of 1 plus n into n minus 1 plus this is n. Okay. So now here, if you substitute, you are getting once again what? Infinity by infinity, which is actually what? Indeterminate form. Whenever you get 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, you can directly solve it by using Hospital's rule. Or if not, you can directly solve by using the method. What is that I have told earlier? Put n is equal to 1 by y. There is a specific method to solve the infinite limits. Put n equal to 1 by y. I told there, as n tending to infinity implies y tending to what? 0. So you will be changing this infinite limit to normal limit in terms of y. So what I'm getting now? Limit y tends to 0. 1 minus 1 by y by under root of 1 plus 1 by y into 1 by y minus 1 plus 1 by y. Now here you have to solve numerator and denominator taking LCM. Then you will be getting the answer. Please take it down. I will do the remaining part here. So now what happens is, you get actually limit y tends to 0. This is y minus 1 by, Here also you can take y common. Y square root is y. Y denominator is LCM is y. It gets cancelled. What I'm getting is under root of this is y square plus 1 minus y plus 1. See, here you should take LCM, y gets cancelled. So now substitute y equal to 0. I get the answer as 0 minus 1 by under root of 0 plus 1 minus 0 plus 1, which is nothing but minus 1 by 2. Therefore, minus 1 by 2 is the answer, which is actually your option B. Option B is correct. Minus half. From here, only the problem from limits, infinite limit concept. And this is the procedure which I have told to you earlier itself, when I was explaining the theoretical concepts, how to solve the infinite limits also. But in textbook, it's not given like this actually. They are given some lengthy methods, which is okay for what your PU and NCERT exams. But for objective, better, you have to learn this. See, if n tends to infinity, you will take put n equal to 1 by y. If n tends to minus infinity, then you should take put n equal to what? Minus 1 by y. And the same procedure. And this part is more important. I have explained this nearly for 15-20 minutes in the class. If n equal to 1 by y, what will happen here? This implies y equal to what? 1 by n, no? 1 by n. Shuffling. What will happen if n value slowly, if it is tending to infinity, 1 by infinity means what? 0 only, no? So that's why I have written this step. As n tends to infinity implies y tends to 0. This is the whole method. Many years back, we used to teach this, and the easiest method actually to solve. Okay, this was question number 91. Now I go to question number 96. 96. The question says sigma r equal to 1 to n r power 4 plus r square plus 1 by r power 4 plus r is equal to 675 by 26. Then question is find n. Find n. What is saying is sigma r equal to 1 to n r power 4 plus r square plus 1 by r power 4 plus r is 675 by 26. You should find the value of n. To solve this, I will split r equal to 1 to n r power 4 plus r square minus r plus 1 by r power 4 plus r. I will solve LHS. Okay. What I have done here is I have added and subtracted r. I have added and subtracted so that I can make the calculation easier. What will happen is sigma r equal to 1 to n r power 4 plus r. Okay. So sigma r equal to 1 to n. Sigma r equal to 1 to n of 1 is nothing but n. The fourth formula which I gave in the just beginning. It will become actually sigma r equal to 1 to n. You know that a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square is what? A cube plus b cube. So this will become actually a cube plus b cube by, this will become r into, this is r cube plus 1 into, this is r plus 1. Is the formula which you got in school itself. A plus b into a square minus ab plus b square. Formula is a cube plus b cube. Now r cube plus 1 and r cube plus 1 gets cancelled. R cube plus 1, r cube plus 1 gets cancelled. So what will happen is, this will become actually n plus sigma. This is r equal to 1 to n. Now I get 1 by r into r plus 1. For this I have to go to what? Partial fractions. What is partial fraction? A by x plus b by x plus 1. So that way I can solve it directly also. What is that I do is, I will write down 1 by r minus 1 by r plus 1. If you simplify, you get 1 by r into r plus 1 only. You can check it actually. R plus 1 minus r gets cancelled. Only 1 remains. You are getting r into r plus 1. Now what that you have to do is, you should write n plus. Now for this you have to go on substituting the values from what? From 1 up to where? Up to n. I am getting 1 by 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 plus so on up to where? Up to 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. If you see this actually, all the terms are getting cancelled. That is, all the middle terms gets cancelled. Minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 up to where? Up to 1 by n gets cancelled. So what is remaining is actually here n plus 1 minus 1 by n plus 1. This value he gave it as actually what? 675 by 26. Now there is one method. Generally what does everyone do is, they will solve these, that it becomes quadratic, that becomes very much lengthy. It's simple waste of time. So what I'm actually saying is that when you are getting actually denominator as 26 and denominator as n plus 1, then n plus 1 means n value, if it is 25 plus 1 will become 26. Now you should check whether n equal to 25 satisfies this or not. So what do you do is, before going for the detailed calculations, you take n equal to 25. Why? 25 plus 1 denominator is 26. Then what will happen is 25 plus 1 minus 1 by 25 plus 1. This is 26 minus 1 by 26. So 26 into 26 is actually what? 676 minus 1 by 26, which is equal to what actually? 675 by 26. Hence it is correct. And therefore our assumption that n is equal to 25 is correct. Take it down.